we visit a psalm of David for this preaching. Psalm number 27. And in your study Bible, it is titled as a Psalm of David. And when you have time to read all of this 27th Psalm, it's only 14 verses, you'll discern that King David probably, surely wrote this psalm from a season of trouble. This psalm describes an experience, perhaps a season when David was being hounded and chased by his enemies. And yet, it is a psalm. Some might even call it a song of confidence, of triumph. To read it, this is not the language of vain presumption. It's not the psalm of a boastful utterance that one affects or pretends or puffs up, but it's a confident yet humble utterance of Christian assurance. This is so because we know of David. He didn't live in darkness, and he didn't find himself overcome by ultimate peril, because David knew the Lord was his light, the Lord was his salvation, the Lord was his strength. David had learned to trust in God. David could testify in his life about many times he knew it was the Lord that rescued him. 3 thoughts I would share with us today. Hope they're portable. Carry them with you. The description of fear. You're in the same neighborhood when you talk about being afraid. You're in the same neighborhood when you talk about being scared. The dictionary says that fear is that unpleasant feeling or emotion that's caused by the belief that someone or something is a danger to them, likely to cause pain or threat or distress. Fear is a reaction. Fear is a response to circumstances and situations. Now let's be clear, the word fear in the biblical context is a complex emotion with perhaps 2 primary meanings in the Bible. When you come across the word fear in the Bible, you could be talking about the reverential awe, respect for God. You could come across fear in this way where it talks about the fear of the Lord. The book of Proverbs says the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. Proverbs says, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. But then on the other hand, the word fear could mean a distressing, troubling anxiety, or even a sense of terror caused by danger, the apprehension of evil. So that we can talk about from the Bible, there is a spirit of fear. And while the first meaning is virtuous, that leads to wisdom and security, the second meaning is a detrimental emotion. So much so, the Bible says God has not given us, believers, God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and love and a sound mind. Secondly, the dominion of fear. Where does fear operate? Its territory. The dominion means where it is in control, where fear is strongest. And we can recognize fear will reside in the immature. Fear will reside in children. Sometimes they have to grow out of being afraid of the dark. That's why they came up with what they call night lights. That's right. Huh? Where children sometimes said, don't close the door, leave the light on, because they are in the dominion of fear. We fear when we feel that we are exposed and vulnerable. Sometimes loneliness generates fear. And sometimes people fear to make either or choices. Afraid to choose this over that. And sometimes you have to recognize the dominion of fear is ignorance. You just don't know. Sometimes sickness can create and magnify our fear. Fear of what the doctor's going to say. Fear of what the report is going to reveal. We fear prognosis. We fear diagnosis. We sometimes have people who will not go to the doctor. Let me get to my third thought, lest I keep you too long. I want to talk about the deliverance from fear. If you're a child of God, you don't have to live being afraid. You don't have to live fearful. And the antidote for fear is available both through knowledge and experience. Look at what David said. The Lord is my light. And whether you're talking about light of day, heavenly light from moon, sun, and stars, whether you're talking about daylight, even talking about lightning, the light from a lamp, the light of life, the light of prosperity, the light of instruction, Jehovah as Israel's light, David said, the Lord is my light. My means it's personal. He's not trying to represent for somebody else. He's talking about in his own life, because he does not live in darkness nor walk in darkness, because the Lord not brings his light, but the Lord is light himself. The Bible says God is light. My comfort, my guide, my direction. And when you come upon its appearance in the Bible, when it talks about light, it's a common figure of comfort. Because in light you can see things for what they really are. In the darkness you see shadows, and your imagination creates monsters out of those things that you see darkly and imperfectly. But when someone turns the light on, you found out you had nothing to fear at all. And so he said, the Lord is my light. And English says Lord, but the Hebrew said Jehovah. The covenant name of God in the Bible. Jehovah, the self-existent one, the Son, the one who says, I am that I am. He's my light. And I can walk in the light. He's not only my light, he's my salvation. He's my rescue. He's my deliverance. He's my answer. He's my covering. He's my defense. If you're a child of God, you don't have to live in fear. You've got light and you've got salvation in the God that you call upon. Shame on you. David said, if I got that, whom shall I fear? Who is it that's bigger than God? Who is it that has more power than God? Who can do to me what God does not allow or permit? Because I have a God who's bigger than all of my trouble. I have a God who's bigger than my enemies. I don't care what the enemy has. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. I choose. I reason within myself. Who can I bring up that I should be afraid of? Somebody needs to tell that fella,